For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 27-year-old piece of gold. I'm side of the microphone, and a guy that interviewed Jacob Fatu recently. Yeah, I got the Canadian destroyer, Brandon Tanguma, the current podcast champion, is here. What's up, brother?
What do? Just the two of us?
Yes.
Cue the song.
Two of us. Yes, it is. Got the Jacob Fatu interview up. Heard some good things about it. Fightful has even written a little article about it, about Fatu wanting to go to WWE and join the bloodline. What are your thoughts on the interview, man?
It was a really good interview. One of the longer ones, about a half hour almost. I know this was kind of your white whale, especially here in the indie scene. You've been, tracking him down and wanted to do this one for a while, so I'm proud of you. And it was a good time talking a lot about the family. He showed a lot of love to the Fatu and the bloodline family. So, and he did ask the hot tub time machine questions, so I can't bitch and moan about that. So it was a great interview.
Yes. Now the world knows about Phillip Fatu. How do you feel?
Well,
Should I like go to the DMV now and like change like my name like officially? Should I do this?
possibly. If you're one of the millions and millions out there who haven't gotten a real ID, then maybe you should go out there, and while you're getting your real ID, everybody, change your name. Well, Philip can change his name to Fatu.
We'll see. I have to consult with the tribal chief. No, but really, go check it out, man. It was fun. It's a really fun interview. Thank you, Jacob, man, my dog. Yeah, I've like Brandon said, I've been trying to get this one for like a few years. Like I think I said in the interview, like 6 years. So I'm really happy that it's checked off the list. Go check it out. It's fun. We have a lot of fun. And I can't wait to do another one with him. All right, outside of the ring, apparently CM Punk was at Monday Night Raw. It's not even apparently. There's footage of him outside of the building talking to Tamina, and so I guess the reports were like, oh, he had a private meeting with Triple H and blah blah blah, and Vince kicked him out and all this other stuff. So then I just read something else. So I guess he was just like in the open space, the common area, and squashed some heat with Miz. Spoke to Triple H briefly. And then I guess he was asked to leave and he was respectful about it, blah, blah, blah. So if he can go to a place that he hated for years and make amends with some people, can't he make amends with the people at the place where he currently works?
I have no idea. The CM Punk just circus continues. Because allegedly he had the sit-down interview or sit-down conversation with Chris Jericho last week. They kind of squashed that beef, and seemingly everything is
I don't
good
buy
to go.
I don't buy any of that. Like, how are we fans knowing that these secret meetings are supposedly happening? Like, what? How do we know these meetings are happening, and how do we know who's in the meetings? We shouldn't know any of that.
Well, people talk.
No, it's the dirt sheets just trying to get some stuff out there and put stuff out in the universe, bro. We don't know if these meetings have actually happened. Until I hear from Jericho, Tony Khan, or CM Punk that the meeting has happened, I'm not going to believe it.
That's why I said it. That's why I said allegedly. I just said allegedly in front of him. You got to always say allegedly, or else Brett Favre or Ted DiBiase Jr. come after and sue your ass.
Yes. Guys, don't just believe what you read on these dirt sheets, I believe Punk was at Raw because we actually saw footage of it. Like it's that simple. But yeah, this stirring up the pot. I like it.
Yeah, whether he had a meeting last week or whatnot, it's a very strange look for Punk. Also, there was talks about him basically being on the flight from Florida to Chicago, and maybe that's the reason why he went to Raw, because a lot of the wrestlers were on the flight and he was talking to them, and he kind of, they gave an olive branch for him or something.
Yeah, that seems like that actually happened. Like, oh, hey, what are you guys doing here? Oh, it's in town? Sure, why not? I'll go. Like, I believe that. Sure, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. What do you think Tony Khan feels about this?
He's probably not very happy because
You
as
can
I was
make
trying to
amends
get
with
to, like,
them, but not us.
yeah, like after you're doing all this headache, it seems like we're kind of putting everything in the right direction. I know kind of the Young Bucks stuff and Brandon Cutler stuff still needs to be hashed out, it looks like, but we're on the right track. He's probably going to debut sometime in June when that new Saturday show comes out. And then he goes to the competition and goes to WWE and whatever the hell he did back there. It's just not a good, well, I mean, it's not like a terrible look for him, like fighting your own coworkers, but it's just like an unnecessary headache.
Yeah. AEW Wrestle Dream has been in the news. So apparently Tony Khan has filed a trademark for AEW Wrestle Dream. Now the name Wrestle Dream has already had some roots in pro wrestling. In 1991, a show called Wrestle Dream in Kobe, Japan took place for the promotion of Super World of Sport. You saw such matches as Hulk Hogan successfully defending the WWE Championship against Yoshiaki Yatsu in the main event. You also saw people like Macho Man Randy Savage, Bret Hart, and a young Minoru Suzuki on the undercard. That's interesting. AEW Wrestle Dream, I like it. It could be like one of those specials. It could be a grand slam ish kind of thing where he has like a really different feel given the aesthetic of the venue. What are your thoughts on AEW Wrestle Dream?
It's interesting, AEW hasn't done too many of those like Dynamite special named shows, and whether this is a Dynamite show or some sort of specialty TNT special, a pay-per-view name, or whatever the case may be, has some history tied to it. So, it's fun, and I do like when AEW kind of breaks out those fancy names and kind of puts a lot of their eggs on a Dynamite or something like that to kind of make things feel a little more special.
What? Could AEW do what WWE did has done over the past few years, like with like their quote unquote house shows, naming them and then like broadcasting them on the network or whatever? I know AEW doesn't have a network, but if they can, cut a deal with Fight and like broadcast it at a cheaper rate than their normal pay-per-views, think they can do something like that?
Possibly, and not even having to, broadcast them to the global audience, of just if they are really trying to do house shows, and if you can, market it as a Wrestle Dream and kind of have some big names and kind of have some big matches out there, that's another way to kind of get people in, because in this day and age, I think in terms of like the AEW type of fan, I think they realize what a house show is. So I think that type of audience, you need to kind of entice them with something different than just, oh, come on down, see the show, and we'll have some matches and you can buy our merch and stuff.
They could even broadcast it live on their YouTube channel. They can do things like that. Because I remember like before they officially were on TV, they did do the Fighter Fest and the Fight for the Fallen. They did do like kind of like those events or whatever. And do you remember like having to pay for them or pay a steep price? I don't think so, right? I think they were just on Fight or something, right?
Yeah, I thought they were just on Fight or
yeah,
YouTube or something.
Yeah, something like that. So maybe they can resort back to those roots or do something like that. But I'm interested in that. The WWE brand split could produce specific PLEs once again. Now, in 2016, when SmackDown Live became a thing and Raw or their own separate brands, we had 2 pay-per-views a month. I loved it. People complained it's too much wrestling, and then the pay-per-views became like 4 hours every month, and like, oh, they're too long. Well, there was a solution, but you guys didn't like that. I could do a brand-specific PLE. I could do that. We could do the 2 a month, or we could do 1 a month. Like what? Like let me see. I don't know. I guess SmackDown get Extreme Rules, and then what Raw get I don't know what else. Clash at the Castle, I don't know. Something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I'm up for brand separated shows. I went to one of those early SmackDown ones in No Mercy in Sacramento. It was a pretty good show. I mean, that Dolph Ziggler Miz match, still an underrated match and one of the best matches I ever saw live. That was the weird one because there was the presidential debate at the same time. So they
the WWE
led off with
on first. Yeah,
they did the triple threat match for the WWE title first. So
I do remember that.
I'm fine with just the 1 a month, because 2 a month, whether it's every other week, is kind of a bit. And I don't know
I thought it was good.
it is kind of a lot, especially if you are watching other things. God forbid, Philip.
It was fun, man. Like I got 2 pay-per-views a month. I dug it. Speaking of Sacramento, how them Kings looking, man? How them Kings looking?
Well, currently the Warriors stormed past them in the second quarter, and they took the lead as we go into halftime.
What's the score at the time of this recording?
Well, I don't have the score in front of me because of the commercial, but I think the Warriors are about like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay. Shout out. All right. Grizzled Young Vets have put out a statement. I forgot both of their individual names. Excuse me. What was their new tag team name?
Weren't they part of the Schism?
Schism. I think Hood Slam is putting on a show called Schism, so that caught my eye. Go check that out. But yeah, so Grizzled Young Vets apparently are their contract is up in October, October 14th of this year. So I guess they're just gonna be sitting around waiting.
It seems like that. They asked for their release, they did not get it. They haven't been really used since the divulsion of NXT UK. They got a little bit of a run in NXT proper, but they're a pretty good tag team, and on the mic, in the ring. I don't know why they couldn't find a spot for them, whether in NXT or on the main roster. So wherever they go, I'm not going to sit here and say, they got to go to AEW or wherever the case may be. But they're talented enough that if they can get a shot outside of WWE, I think they can prove themselves.
Absolutely. Oh, am I unmuted? I am. Absolutely. I love it. I like the Grizzled Young Veterans. I like what they were doing in NXT UK. It's just I don't know why they would change their character. But why couldn't they just just do the same thing? I don't know. Maybe things will change when they get a call up. You never know. All right. I'm gonna pronounce this hopefully. Mayu Iwatani defeats Mercedes Moné to win the IWGP Women's Championship. Mercedes suffering her first loss since leaving WWE. I believe she has another date scheduled in May, and then her contract is up. But she has asked for a rematch for the IWGP Women's title. So, have you seen the match? Have you seen clips? What are your thoughts? Thoughts on Mercedes leaving?
I have not seen the match, but from what I've heard, it was a really good match. Maybe the best one of her outside WWE run thus far. And so, if you guys can find a way, maybe send it my way and I can check it out. But yeah, a lot of the news speculating about her contract status. She signed on for an extension. She's going to be at, I believe, is in a US based New Japan show or something like that. And we don't know exactly how long she's going to be there, but
it's in Long Beach, I believe.
Yeah, so she'll be around for at least a month, and then after that, who the hell knows? Forbidden Door is around the corner. I think that would have been a fantastic way to possibly introduce her. But once again, we don't know how that AEW New Japan relationship will be. Like if a Kota Ibushi comes around, or Mercedes Moné leaves New Japan to go to AEW. Like how does that kind of affect things? But we'll find out.
Yes, I like how she paid tribute to Eddie, the Japanese version of Eddie Guerrero, the Black Tiger mask. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Mercedes does, where she can go. Her former tag partner and one of her good friends, Trinity Fatu, apparently will be at Impact tapings on Friday.
Apparently, according to PW Insider and Fightful, it's looking like Trinity Fatu have been waiting for her to possibly return into the ring, and all signs are pointing towards her being at the Impact tapings on Friday. When, where this is going to happen, we don't know exactly, but we've been waiting for almost a year now at this point. Mercedes has done her thing in New Japan, and Trinity has just kind of sat around. There was rumblings last week that possibly she was going to sign with Stardom in New Japan, but because of budget reasons, they couldn't fit her in. So now she's at Impact, and I think it's a good move for her if she's not going to go back to WWE.
Let's see. I don't know. We'll see what she can do, man. I mean, she was at WrestleCon during WrestleMania weekend, kind of doing that. Let's see what happens outside of the company. Let's see what kind of needle she moves. I've always liked her work. I thought her and Mercedes were going to be WWE lifers, man. It's crazy.
I don't really see her like a needle mover per se, but that Impact division, the Knockouts division, I think is so deep that she can have a lot of good matches, and she can, kind of ease her way into it, have some matches with, Deanna Perez is the champion, but I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
throw her right into that championship picture right away.
I feel like it's kind of light, with Jordan Grace no longer under contract there, than Mickey walking away or doing whatever she's doing. So it's interesting. It is interesting. Let's get into the fan mail, man. Let's get to the fan mail. Fan mail. I think we should make a fan mail song.
Curveballs and chair shots will sue you for defamation for copyright infringement.
Why would you do that?
Because we are the only podcast that are allowed to do jingles.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. That's the rules.
Show me the paperwork right now. Email me the document.
Well, since we're a multi-state podcast currently, we're caught up in litigation.
Wow, I see. Jack of all trades. I like the look of the new title. It has a classic look, a regal look. Can't wait to see who wins it. We'll talk about the title when we get to Raw. Let's see what else we got here. Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who.
Mates, is a new title really the best idea? Could you have just taken a title from Roman, had a tournament, and crowned a new champ? Once again, talk about the title when we get there. Yeah. Well, let's go over to that. I think that was it for the email. Let's go over to the Instagram DMs.
Mr. X.
Yes.
Shout
out to the Hall of Famer. Beautiful graphic he made for Jacob Fatu. Did Mercedes Moné need more time with the IWGP Women's title, or did they feel she brought enough legitimacy to it to move on to another champion? I feel like she should have lost. She could have lost it at the next New Japan show or whatever. I feel like that could have been the thing. If she was going out.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on her contract status. Mayu Iwatani is, one of the top names in Stardom. And so for her to lose it at a Stardom event and, lose there and get some eyes on them, rather than go to like a New Japan show in the US and lose it there, I think it does more for the overall brand, because Stardom and New Japan are owned by Bushiroad, the same parent company. So I think it was a decent move right now. If she is going to leave the company right now.
We'll see. Mr. Rex also says, okay, with the new world title is a step in the right direction design-wise. There's something about it that is off to me. Not sure what. Also, not thrilled with another championship being added. There should be one world champion. I'd be fine, brother. I'd be fine with the floating champion between the shows. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll talk about that once we get to the title. Also, $500 for this belt on pre-order. Get the hell out of here. He also says, how much damage do you think the big bad rabbit will take in the street fight with Damian Priest? We'll talk about all that when we get to Raw. It's Raw right now. We're going in Raw.
Pause.
Don't know why I said that. All right, so Triple H unveiled the new World Heavyweight Championship. He says whatever brand Roman Reigns will be drafted to, he will stay there with the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight title, and we will crown a new world champion. He unveils it. Before we get to anything, thoughts on the look of the championship? I like it.
The look itself, I'm kind of with Mr. X. Like, it's okay, but just there's something kind of I'm not digging completely about it. It might just be how similar it is to the big gold, and then they just kind of slather on the big, like a globe and a WWE logo. Now, it's not like the Universal and WWE titles where it's like the main thing is the logo, but that is kind of the trend right now in wrestling, is like the brand, the logo is kind of the main part of the title. But let's just say I like the title design more than I like the title idea. Way better.
I think I should have designed this championship. I mean, you've seen my work. You've seen our titles.
I'm just trying to think of how you can kind of keep, because obviously they need to have the WWE logo in there somewhere. You're not just going to have a complete ripoff of the big gold, whether it's like a little different design, but then you just put like the WWE, the little tiny WWE logo at the very tippy top, like it used to be.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that anymore. So maybe it is just like the globe underneath it. If they just had the WWE logo there, but then you had the same design behind it, maybe that's
I think
would be better.
I do like it. I mean, this is basically the here inward damn championship. That's basically what this is. Like, here, like this is the Roman not losing those titles, so here's this one championship. I say all that to say I like the idea of the championship itself. It has the pattern of the big gold. And Triple H was a fan of that, and how apropos that he was given the world heavyweight title 20 years ago, and then he reintroduces this version of the Big Gold Championship. It's the Big Gold 2.0, man. I think what they do, because it says world champion, I think if that was like in black or something, it would make it pop more. I don't know, or put a black backing. I do like the globe, how the leather is right there on the plate. I do like that. But all in all, like we've talked about the idea of champion, like the heavyweight champion floating between both shows. And whenever he's not there, have the secondary title, whether it be IC, US, make that the prominent title on that show. But apparently, the big guns, Fox and USA, both want a heavyweight champion on their shows.
I mean, we just talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I was just vehemently against having it, whether it's a new championship or split up the titles or whatever the case may be. And so now it's coming to fruition, and I'm just going to kind of restate the same points. I just don't like the idea. It like devalues whoever wins it first. It devalues, the idea of a world champion. You built so much value into that WWE Universal title that Roman's had. The Universal title for over almost 1,000 days at this point. You've built so much into that. And then now you're just going to take a lot of it away and just give it to have someone hold the championship that they're going to say is on the same plane, but it's not. And now Cody cannot win that championship at all. And now maybe you kind of go away with that of having Cody just be on the opposite brand of whatever that championship is on. But he cannot win that championship by any means, because the story has always been him winning the WWE championship, and now the extra layer of him trying to regain him, redeem himself against Roman. So I do not like this idea from multiple different angles about introducing a world champion. If this was always in the cards, then maybe you just do pull the trigger on Cody at WrestleMania, because he could have bounced back and forth, and you could have just kept one champion on both shows.
I don't think it devalues anything. I mean, Roman still has the prestige of everything that.
Well, it automatically devalues the World Heavyweight Championship, because it's not the same as the other championship.
Well,
when their idea
did it devalue it back in the day?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Did it? I mean, we had two world champions back in the day. We had a dominant champion, and then we had another title. Did it devalue it back then?
At the time, it was Brock Lesnar winning the champion. Well, so every single time we've got a new championship, it was always because of a brand split. First, it was Brock Lesnar, and the second one was AJ Styles or Dean Ambrose going over to SmackDown. But this is a historic reign of Roman Reigns right now. And so, and the story was that Triple H said that, because Roman isn't defending it all that often, we're just going to create a new championship. Just make Roman defend the title more, or give him an ultimatum.
In his contract that he doesn't have to. Then you have to get into.
I would have much rather had him either strip or forego the WWE championship.
Well, that devalues it. That
and then that also throws in the lineage and the history of the WWE championship, because technically the title he's held the longest is the Universal title. And then now the WWE championship is in there, and that gets very foggy. And do you just mold them into one, and then the WWE championship kind of eats into the Universal title, but then the Universal title was the one he had before, and it's still the same reign? It's very confusing when you try to think about it like that.
It's not confusing. The Universal title is the one he's had the longest. He unified both because he's in God mode. That's just what's happening, And he's so dominant that they had to reintroduce the World Heavyweight title.
But why would anybody, if you're a wrestler, why would you go after that championship instead of trying to go after Roman Reigns' title?
Well, see, but they haven't really talked about it yet. Is this one going to still have the same lineage that the World Heavyweight title did? I assume so.
I don't know, and quite honestly, I don't really care.
Why not?
Great. I mean, the big gold is very historic and stuff, but in WWE, the lineage of the WWE Championship should be the greatest thing of all.
Yes, and now happy 60th birthday to the WWE title, by the way.
And you're very much murky in the water right now, with having the WWE Championship kind of be the secondary title behind the Universal title, and then now you have a completely different championship. So if you like if you do end up like getting one championship for Roman, like does that become the WWE Universal Championship, or does it just become the WWE Championship? And then
whatever happens with that, I think it will just be the WWE title. I don't know how they do it, but they've honestly, maybe whoever beats Roman says this is great or gets rid of the Universal title. I don't know. I like that. I don't know how they'll get there. But I do believe that whenever Roman loses that title, that it will just be the WWE Championship moving forward, and the Universal title will officially go away because apparently Triple H is not a fan of that.
I mean, we go back. I mean, I think we were doing the podcast when they unveiled the Universal title. I probably was not a fan of it. I'm probably saying the same things I was saying, whatever, 6-7 years ago as I am right now, that you don't need another championship. But, that one also had the thing of the color of just it being red. And it's like, it's just clearly a merchandise ploy. And this title, as Mr. X said, like as soon as they unveil it, they put it up on WWE Shop for $500. So they know people will buy this because they'll unveil a new championship all the time.
Yes. We'll see how this plays out. Cody Rhodes defeats Finn Balor. Finn Balor asked Cody to join the Judgment Day, so it led to a match. Cody gets the dubski. Finn can't keep losing, man. Finn Balor as World Heavyweight Champion? How do you like that? Hold on now. It doesn't have to be Cody. There are other options. There's Seth. There's Finn. Edge, man. Like he retired as World Heavyweight Champion. How apropos would it be for him to win the World Heavyweight title back in this last little run that he's on?
Yeah, that's another thing is I don't know who should be that first champion. Now we don't know who's going to be on what brand and how everything's going to shake out.
I agree with you. It can't be Cody. That would just be a Jesus, man. That would not be a good look.
Now, what happens if the bloodline were to break up and Jey Uso becomes the world champion?
Well, if the bloodline were to break up, I would feel that Jey would go after Roman.
Now, when I mean breakup, I mean by the draft. I don't mean literally
draft breakup. Well, then he truly lives up to the name of main event Jey Uso. Yeah.
I kind of say like, a heel should win it first, just because like a babyface winning that type of title.
There's only one guy that should win this, and Katie's not here, so I will say this. I will not have any interruptions this time. I need Omos to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The photos are already going around. We must fulfill the prophecy. Where my Homo sapiens at? Where my homosexuals at? How are you doing with your homosexuality? Are you on board now?
I think I'm coming around.
Oh, so happy I might do a backflip. I hope my ankle can take it. Oh boy. But yeah. Moving on from that, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest is official for Backlash. Bad Bunny said he is no longer hosting it. He's going to Puerto Rico to kick Damian Priest's ass. So they're gonna have a Puerto Rican street fight.
I guess so. We just kind of assumed it was going to be a tag match, but no, it's going to be a singles match.
I like
it should be a lot of fun. And you might think this is hyperbolic, but I think Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico in a match might trump Sami Zayn in Montreal. Like that's just how over Bad Bunny is.
We'll listen to the reaction. Yeah. Seth Rollins and Omos was made for this. I like it.
Just randomly thrown on SmackDown, and then here we are.
MVP is great at his job. He gets his client the big matches, which that's a way you should use social media, guys. It was just randomly thrown out there. MVP reposted it and said, "Hey, I get my client the big matches." Come on now, let's use social media to advance these stories. Come on now, guys. So I mean,
what kind of heat would WWE get if Logan Paul is the first champion? I mean, Logan Paul does need to like get a win under his belt.
He does. Night of Champions. I mean, the last time he was in Saudi Arabia, he had a groundbreaking performance against the current world champion. If he were to go back to Saudi Arabia and then win this title, that'd be something, right?
It would be an interesting social experiment to see how
A social experiment.
to see how the wrestling internet, wrestling Twitter thinks about this.
I see. I see. The Bloodline gets major TV time. You got Jimmy talking to Sammy. You got the Usos and Solo backstage. LWO was in a match with the Bloodline and they lost. How do you feel about the new LWO theme?
I mean, it is what it is. I think a lot of the newer WWE, a lot of the newer WWE themes aren't like anything fantastic. So
I loved Legato's theme. It was smooth. It was calm. It was stocky. I like that. But what are your thoughts on all the TV time the Bloodline got on Monday?
I thought a lot of it was good. Laying the groundwork. You got the tag title match on Monday or Friday. You got the 6-man tag in Puerto Rico in a week in like a week and a half. So, and with no Roman, Cody kind of meandering with no Brock Lesnar going on right now with the Bloodline on Raw. It did have to take up a lot of the TV time. And I thought, it was fine. I did like Matt Riddle, kind of chirping up and saying like, Sammy, a lot of people thought Randy was going to turn on me, but he didn't. So, very similar to possibly how a lot of people are thinking about Kevin Owens and Sammy's dynamic of how much longer can Kevin Owens keep up with Sammy's stuff, talking to the Bloodline.
That was a nice little callback. I did like that. Trish Stratus had a promo. Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, it was okay. No Becky once again the past couple weeks. I don't know how much longer they're gonna string this along, because it does seem like it's gonna be at SummerSlam, which SummerSlam is earlier, right? It's in July.
No, it's in August this time.
It's in August this time.
Yeah,
so
it's not like late August like it normally is. Because normally SummerSlam, like it would be like the last Sunday before school would start back up. It's like the 14th, right?
August 5th.
It's early August. Okay. It's August 5th. Yeah, normally it would be like the 20th or something. Okay. Well, all right. Let's see how long they can go. What was it? April right now? May, June, July? We'll see.
Still don't know what happened. We need a Lita health update. Where the hell's Lita at?
Somewhere in San Francisco.
I haven't seen her on Bart.
Yeah, I haven't seen her on Bart. I haven't seen her in the Mission District. Nowhere to be found. Yeah, man, just have Trish work with somebody else. Until then, hell, give Trish a match at Puerto Rico. Why not? Do it. Who cares? Be fun. Give her a match in Saudi Arabia. Why not?
If you're going to give Becky some time off, I think at this point, you really need to try to build some heat on Trish. It's going to be an uphill battle regardless.
She has to beat who's
so you need to have her beat a baby face.
She has to beat someone down though.
I mean the women's baby. Let's see. I just pull
Bianca. Did she just win the title from? Does she beat Bianca? Is that how we get the heat?
I don't think so.
In the year of our Lord 2023, does Trish Stratus become an 8-time women's champion?
Well, we do have the draft around the corner, so we're not really set in stone. I mean, like Candice LeRae, like God bless her, I love Candice, but she's not really doing much right now. Trish Stratus absolutely just beats the piss out of her, and
I can see that happen.
Try to get some heat on her. That's something you can do.
She's all bloody like that Young Bucks match.
Yep.
Bronson Reed stands tall over Theory and Lashley. Could Bronson Reed walk out of Puerto Rico the United States champion? I'd love that. I think that'd be great for him.
I've been a Bronson Reed fan for the past few years now, and I was a little skeptical or a little worried with Vince possibly coming back in with a little more power, but thus far Bronson Reed's still getting his push. Theory, Lashley, and him should have a really good match, and maybe he pulls off the upset. Once again, maybe John Cena was right. Ever since Austin Theory won, he hasn't really done anything with that.
This is true. John Cena knows best. Happy belated birthday to John, the big 4-6. God, time flies. Time flies, man. Time flies. Brandon, I'll let you take over the AEW part of the show.
Oh, fantastic! I get to just blab everyone's ear off about AEW Dynamite. It was a decent show. Nothing too major. Really happy. But we did have some really good matches, including the kickoff with Orange Cassidy and Bandito. Kind of forgot Bandito was even on the AEW roster. This was for the International Championship.
Hold on. Did you hear Arn Anderson in his promo? 150 talents.
And Bandito, I mean, I think he is one of the top talents that AEW has. Philip, I know we early in the AEW run, you had the gripe, rightfully so, I would say, at points, that they didn't utilize black talent properly. Now, I might flip it and say AEW doesn't utilize their Mexican and Latino talent properly because you see like Bandito and Roosh and the Lucha Bros and like a lot of the luchadors they have on there. I think they can do a lot more than what they're doing right now.
Couple things. One, that wasn't early on in AEW. That was like 2 years in when I said that. That was like 2021 when I said that.
Time's a flat circle. I can't remember anything.
Yeah. And then with their Hispanic talent, they get big spots. I mean, like Lucha Bros, sure, they've been the tag champs. Now they're the Ring of Honor tag champs. Vikingo, he had that match with Kenny recently. Commander has had some nice spots. So Commander's Hispanic, right? I assume so, right? Yeah.
Commander.
Yes. So, I mean, they get big spots. It's just they don't.
They're always there just to put on a good match and lose, which I think they are more than that.
Yeah, that's where that's at. Because I mean, Bandito did the Jericho match, which was I like that. This is interesting.
Orange Cassidy gets the win. Then I don't know what they're doing, but Orange Cassidy made a friend in Bandito. We had a little backstage segment with them. They came out later in the show to help out Adam Cole. So maybe we're getting an Orange Cassidy Bandito team, or that was just kind of a one-off thing during the show. I don't know, but once again, Bandito was just uber talented. I know he doesn't speak much English, but I just think he could do a lot more in AEW. Then we get old Double J Jeff Jarrett defeating Dax Harwood.
Yes, sir.
And
J-E, double F, J-A, double R-E, double T. That's Double J Jeff Jarrett.
Little help from Sanjay Dutt and friends, but looks like they're setting up some sort of tag team match for FTR for the tag title. So, a nice first defense for FTR for them to get a win under the belt and
put the titles on Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, because in the year of my Lord, I need to see Jeff Jarrett with some gold in the year of our Lord of 2023.
Now, I don't know if that tag team match is something that should be on Double or Nothing. Like, that can be a fine Dynamite, probably not a main event, but maybe top of the first hour type show. But we're only a month out from Double or Nothing.
Whoa. Two world-class competitors and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett coming together to take on one of the best tag teams on the planet in FTR for the AEW tag titles isn't good enough for Double or Nothing? Huh?
I mean, we already saw them in
that tag 14 thing we saw at Revolution was good enough.
I mean, we saw that tag team title match at Revolution, and it was fine. It kind of leaned in a lot with the ha-has, but that's not what FTR's thing.
Jarrett didn't get enough time to cook. He and Lethal got to cook. They got to cook, yeah. I'm done. But
a month out from Double or Nothing, I am not happy. We're not happy, but I'm not too thrilled about the pay-per-view lineup thus far.
When's Double or Nothing?
It's in literally a month away. It's the 28th or something. They had the big banner in the corner.
28th? That's Collectible Stampede. If you're in the area, come watch AlphaZo defend the Bulletcast title against Dave Wasted and Loverboy Leo. Did you see Dave Wasted's promo? Did you see it real quick? Did you see it? How do you feel?
It was beautiful promo. It was outside, Shadow Katie.
Outside. Yes.
I saw it.
Yes. We'll see what Loverboy Leo has to say.
Continuing on with Dynamite, we got the Owen Hart Cup. That was at Double or Nothing last year, but this time it's going to begin at Double or Nothing. The Owen Hart Cup returns. Tony Khan had one of his big announcements once again, and he just said, we're going to start it off at Double or Nothing, have some matches at Forbidden Door, and it's going to culminate in Calgary.
Yeah, so which is an episode of Collision, I believe, in July. Do you think Triple H doing these announcements is kind of like a parody of Tony Khan? I feel like it is. I feel like they're ribbing him, bro.
Well, I mean, ever since he had that big announcement of signing Christian, I think people kind of are skeptical on what a big announcement is from Tony Khan.
How was that not a bit? Christian is a former world champion and a legend in this business. How was it not a big announcement?
Well, when whoever, I forget who else was like a free agent at the time, and then they ended up saying Christian, a little bit of a letdown.
Well, not a letdown at all. One of the greatest of all time. We got an Edge and Christian reunion. I love that.
Shout out, they saw their Maple Leafs play the Lightning. Don't know who won, but good for them. They saw a hockey game. I'll get it from the Mr. X's hockey update later on.
Speaking of sports games, how's that Warriors Kings game looking? Adam Kings.
Once again, we're in a commercial, but the Warriors are up 8, I believe.
It's closing in. It's closing in.
Yep, we got the Pillars tournament continuing with Sammy and Darby. We had MJF on commentary. He was plugging his pickles. Shout out to MJF's pickles. I believe in probably the same company he was chomping on. And
are his pickles better than Austin Aries' banana?
Well, with Austin Aries' current status right now, I probably would say that MJF's pickles are better than Austin Aries' banana, but nothing will ever top Austin Aries' package, though.
Yes, when I met him a couple years ago, I saw the package. One of the best packages in the history of this business.
Great package. But Sammy defeats Darby Allin when MJF hits Sammy, gets Darby DQ'd, and he moves on. And they did this whole dog and pony show of Tony Khan talking to Tony Schiavone, and instead of taking away the opportunity from the heels, they still say Sammy is going to be in the match at Double or Nothing, but now it's going to be MJF and Sammy in a tag team match against Jungle Boy and Darby next week. And if the babyfaces win, they get put into the Pillars match at Double or Nothing. Very convoluted, very confusing. I just do not like. They had like such a simple story they could have told, but I think they've just messed it up and made it so much more convoluted than it needs to be right now.
Yeah, we're getting the fatal 4-way. That's all it is.
Yeah, and they laid the groundwork for possibly Sammy turning on MJF because Sammy didn't hop in the car with MJF, leaving Ty Mello just in the dust. She was nowhere to be found. I don't know where the hell Sammy's fiance or wife was at. So,
shout out Sammy and Ty, friends of Oasis Pro,
stars of AEW All Access right now. It's basically turned into they had the Cody and Brandy show, but now it's the Ty and Sammy show.
Have you seen the show?
I have seen all but the last episode.
It
is basically like the Sammy and Ty Mello show. Like they take up about 60% of every episode.
I like that. I'm gonna have to watch. Yeah.
Also, sometimes Adam Cole is on the show, and Adam Cole called out Jericho. Jericho said, "Hey, yeah, no, I'm okay." And the Jericho Appreciation Boys come to get the beatdown. As I said, Orange Cassidy and Bandito try to make the save. Not enough. But Roderick Strong makes his AEW debut. The boys embrace, and so now Roderick Strong is All Elite.
Didn't know he was officially gone from WWE. The Messiah of the Backbreaker is All Elite. AEW just got undisputed. Bring back Bobby Fish. Run. I can't say Holy Trinity, but four people. What would that be?
Quadrant? I don't know.
The Holy Quadrant. Run it. Yes, from one Messiah to another. Roddy, love seeing you back out there. You looked great. Came out with the Ring of Honor song. Oh, ooh-wee. Made me feel things I haven't felt in a long time. Massive Roddy Strong fan. I loved that run before we got to WWE. Love the run in WWE. But
yeah, Roderick Strong's a good guy to have on camera, behind the scenes as a coach or whatever. A little surprised WWE let him go. I think with the PC, you could have used him as like a trainer or something. Maybe he just wanted more. Man. And especially with ROH, and he has that history. I think he can be, he'll have his moments with Adam Cole, but I think a lot of his television time is probably going to be devoted to Ring of Honor.
Yuta, Strong, pure title, run it. Right? Possibly.
We did have some Britt Baker and Outcast promos, but the token women's match for AEW was a TBS championship, and it was kind of a big match. They didn't really promote all that much throughout the show, if at all. Jade Cargill taking on Taya Valkyrie for the TBS championship, and Valkyrie could not use her finishing move, which is basically like Jaded or whatever else, Glam Slam, something like that. I forget what her
The hook
name.
and ladder. Well, I know Ricky Steamboat used to call it the hook and ladder or the bitch clamp when it was jazz. A lot of people have used this move, I've come to realize.
It looks good. It looks devastating, but I think from a wrestling perspective, I don't think it hurts all that much. So it's a good move. But because of smart Mark Sterling, Taya could not use her finisher. So she had Jade up for it, but she had to let it go, and then Jade just rolls her up. They said held on to her tights, but Taya's tights weren't exactly grabbable, so it's just kind of like she smacked her ass a little bit and whatever. So Jade gets the win. She continues to be undefeated. Match fell a little bit flat for the finish. I think a lot of it is because this feud has been primarily on Rampage. I don't think a lot of people are on Rampage, and we have the commentators to kind of tell us what's going on, but I would assume a lot of the people in the crowd did not know what was going on in terms of Taya not finishing off Jade in the end.
Well, maybe they can do this on AEW Collision because people are going to watch that.
Of course, because CM Punk's on the show.
Apparently,
allegedly. Then in the main event, strange main event with Omega and Takeshita taking on Butcher and Blade. Omega and Takeshita, make pretty quick work of Butcher and Blade, and then at the end we get the not a major angle, but a beatdown angle. Takeshita stops Kenny from using the screwdriver on Moxley, but then Takeshita is the one that gets a screwdriver to the head, so he's left bloody. Continuing on with the BCC and Elite feud. It was okay. I look at kind of the rest of the card. I don't think you could really do any other match in the main event, especially with the screwy finish of the Pillars match, the downer of the women's match. So this one made sense, but I think, having Butcher and Blade in an AEW Dynamite main event doesn't really do much. Does not get the people going.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I don't know what to say about any of this. Takeshita, trying to stop Kenny and all that other stuff, and then the nonsense happened with. I don't know. I kind of like the BCC being these killers, man. Takeshita, go join them, bro. Why not? Go be a killer, bro.
They teased it for a little bit, but then BCC beat him down.
A little
maybe
bit.
Maybe they're going the Wheeler Yuta route, and he just gets beat down so much he switches up. But who knows? I do wonder if this is kind of leading up to a Kota Ibushi return or debut in AEW.
Possibly, they tease it a little bit the bit. I don't know, man. Can we see Kota in AEW? I don't know.
And we also have Adam Page, who's just out there with a blind eye because of the screwdriver, and haven't really heard much from him outside of being the Elite.
The Elite. Oh no, man. It's a lot to process. What's going to be happening? I don't know. Superstar Spotlight. Who do we got? Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to give it to Bronson Reed. I like the things I've seen. No, I'm not gonna give it to Bronson Reed. I'm not.
First time ever, I believe, on the show. I'm doing this. We're gonna give it to Mayu Iwatani. Shout out her new IWGP Women's Championship. Maybe now that she's with New Japan a little bit more, people will know the name and respect her.
I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna give it to everybody that wrestled at Ugwa on Sunday. Killer show. Got to call it with Boss Man. Was fun. Hell of a main event. The match was won by dildo submission, which I don't think I've ever seen before in my life.
Devastating.
Yes. The match was won because Marco Mayor was choking on a dildo. I actually said that. Yeah. That's what happened. Yes. If you've never been to Ugwa, come check it out. Next show, May 27th, Slashapalooza. Boss Man's birthday. You don't want to miss it. The day after, Collectible Stampede 2, Bulletcast title match. Alpha Zoe defends against Loverboy Leo and Dave Wasted. And also Culture Deep Oasis Pro May 12th. Matches are happening. Big matches are happening. You don't want to miss it. Thank you all so much. We will be back next week. Different style of episode next week. We're going to do something different, and we're going to preview Backlash. The Bulletcast podcast titles on the line next week. Yes, sir. Be safe and stay dangerous.
Here is the feeling in the pool. Get the lesson. And if you want to prove it to you now, here's the feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it. Moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage. And everything we do, turning the page. Nobody doesn't like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting. I know you like it. Yeah, the Bulletcast.